This episode brought to you by Celsius.
You're goddamn right.
Wonderful product.
They very kindly send me a 12-pack of these as long as I pay for them. After this, I have to go to bed. Good thing I'm drinking an energy drink.
Why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
Get out of here. Come on, get out of here. Get out of here. Come on, get out of here. Beat it. Beat it. Beat it. Get out of here.
Get out of here. Get the fuck up and get out of here.
Hey!
Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of my house, fucker.
Get him out of here.
Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here!
Get out of here.
Now get the fuck out!
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Get the fuck out!
Get out.
Get out of here.
You're out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Go, get the fuck out of here.
Just get the fuck out of my house!
Get the fuck out of here.
Just get the fuck up and get the fuck out of here!
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out!
Get out. Shut up. Get out of my life.
You get the fuck out now! Get him out!
Well, whoop-de-doo. Get out.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Now all of you, get the fuck out!
That is out of here, mister!
I want to move forward. Let the past be bygones.
Fine with me.
Why don't you make like a tree and get the fuck out of here?
All right, cut. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Pops Movie Dungeon. We are here for episode 3 of Get the Flick Out of Here. And if you missed the first 2, if you've been living under a rock, basically what this is it's a new series we started. Me and Brad are kind of cleaning up our collection a little bit, getting rid of some junk we don't really need, trying to go through and just kind of curate the room a little bit. And this here is just a video we do. We each pulled like 10 titles, give or take, and we kind of give you an idea of why we bought it, why we're getting rid of it, maybe how much it's worth, just whatever you want to talk about each title.
There's a million reasons, but these are they are fun to do somehow, but it's more like, I don't know, is cathartic the right word? Satisfying? I don't know. It's everything all at once. Getting rid of some titles, freeing up titles. Yeah. And I'll tell you another great thing about getting rid of titles. It frees you up to buy other titles. Like you can sell an old out of print Blu-ray and make some money on it and buy a couple others. I've got a whole video coming up. I'll explain some of that. But I sold one title and it paid for 2 titles that I've been wanting for a long time. So,
and my thing is I'm trying extremely hard to not buy anything unless it's a banger.
Yeah.
I'm kind of seeing my mindset change a little bit because I always watch, the new releases come out. I'm on Blu-ray.com. I watch, Dawn of the Disc, whoever releases the new titles or announces them. And usually it's just like, fuck, I got to get that.
Yeah.
Just for example, I think it's Second Sight is putting out scanners.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a nice set. It's Second Sight. I already have the movie. Do I really need to upgrade it to that? Do I like the movie that much to upgrade it?
Does it need a limited edition?
Right. Now, I will buy limited edition still. Like, for example, here's a good example right here. This is one that I'm fixing a list probably the next couple of days. I do love this movie. After watching it, I grew up watching this movie. After watching it 2 or 3 times in the last couple of years, I realized that I don't like this movie as much as I thought I did. Don't get me wrong, I still love it. I still have it in my collection. It'll always be in my collection, but I don't really need this nice set of it. Mm-hmm. I have a really nice the 4K slip of it. That's really all I need.
Studio,
Now, most people are either Lost Boys or Fright Night. I'm definitely more of a Fright Night guy.
There's a third party in that, and that's where I lean to. The Bill Paxton one, was it After Dark or
Near Dark?
Near Dark.
Yeah.
That one hasn't been released forever. We got that shitty Twilight Time release that makes it look like a I don't know, like a Twilight movie basically. Like that I don't have that, but I've been holding out for Near Dark 4K for a while. Like if I in those categories, the kid vampire stuff, that's the one that I would own for me at least.
I mean, I got a list of movies, and it's still a pretty substantial list of movies that I will buy stuff like this. And when this came out, this was day one. I was like, man, look at that artwork, look at that packaging. But I kind of see what people say. You buy these stuff for the packaging, and we are collectors. But you buy this, it goes on a shelf. Good example. I took this down off my shelf, whatever, to consider if I'm going to sell it or not. either layer of dust across the top.
Mm.
You know, it's just going to sit there on the shelf. And if I'm going to watch this movie, I've already watched it twice. Both times I watched my 4K slip that I got on the shelf behind me here. You know, I almost forgot I even had this. You know, I'm like, this thing's worth good money. There's no reason to have 2 copies of this movie. I'm only going to watch 1 copy of it. So I'm trying to just make it where I got 1 good copy that I can watch whatever I want to watch of stuff like this. But just for example, The Hitcher. The Hitcher's twice as big as this.
Mm.
And I love that release. I'm keeping it. The Hitcher is one of those movies that I like it enough to have a set like this. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes
I'm not
perfect
shitting on this movie. I do like this movie. It's just, to me, I don't need that big nice set. A regular 4K slip is good enough. So I don't know. Like I said, I can definitely see my mindset's changing. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited about it. My wallet's kind of excited about it.
Yeah,
You
you know me, I don't do limited editions at all. This is, I think, my last limited edition.
Yeah.
And it ain't going anywhere. You know, I love this movie. It's one of my all-time favorites. And if people are wondering, like, why we're having trouble with like the layout and stuff, because layout's different now. We're doing a different layout, so it's like I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, don't adjust your TV or your phone. We adjust our shit. So our head didn't get bigger.
But yeah, you know, this release has extra bonus features that the standard doesn't have, so I'm going to hang on to this. But generally, I get rid of the limited editions if I have them. But yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. Does this need? Am I happy with the previous release? Am I okay with the standard release? And I guarantee you that Lost Boys set goes for big money.
It does go for big money.
And that thing can pay, you know, if you're happy enough with the studio release, that thing can pay for a big slate of upcoming releases too.
Yeah, but just to be clear, I'm not getting out of physical media. I'm not trying to sell my whole collection. Because if you look at my eBay store, some people may think that. I got like 200 titles on my eBay store.
It's just a lot.
But it's because I got fucking over 2,000 movies. And I'm just clearing out all the shit. And, you know, there's a lot of good titles on the people are like, why are you selling this? Well, it might be because I upgraded. It might be because I have 2 or 3 copies of it.
Yeah.
You know, whatever reason. Might be I'm never going to watch it again. I liked it. I watched it. It was okay. Don't need it.
Or, you know, listen, I had my time with it. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I got it. I was happy to have it. I'm glad I bought it. But there's another release that's ticking the boxes that I want or whatever, you know.
And having a YouTube channel, and I'm sure anybody else has a YouTube channel can attest to this, whatever, that you get on these live streams. And you got, like at our channel, we got 5, 6, 7 guys on here, whatever, that are talking movies. We get backstage and talk movies, talk about what's coming out, talk about, you know, I can't believe you hadn't seen this. And I'm on here buying movies like crazy. Y'all see me do it on live streams all the time. And I'm buying all these recommended movies, and some of them are great. And some of them are not my cup of tea. And for you know what, I got shelves of fucking movies that I bought on recommendations, and I might like 50% of them.
Yeah.
Well, that's 50% of movies on my shelf that I'm never going to watch again. That's pretty much what I'm getting rid of now.
Yeah,
good movies, but just not for me.
You get, you know, even if you don't get all your money back, you get some of your money back. I look at it like paying the cost to see the movies, like that big All the Haunts 2 set. I got that thing in. I was really excited to get that thing in. But I was excited to see those movies. And those movies, a lot of them were first time to disc, you know, whatever. And folk horror is kind of its own thing. You know, a lot of folk horror is going to be a one-time watch, in my opinion. So I got that thing in, paid whatever $180 for it, watched all the movies, and then sold the thing off. And it maybe I broke even. Let's say I broke even. I think I broke close to broke even. Maybe it cost me $10, you know, whatever. I look at it like I paid $10 to see those movies, and on down the road it went. So, but yeah, blind buys, but recommendations. I don't know that I have a ton that I'm selling that were recommendations that didn't work out. Like I was just digging through my stuff to list the other day, and I saw Eaten Alive, the Arrow Video release. That's one of my favorite releases. I love that release. That's a Johnny recommendation. I'd never seen Eaten Alive. Toby Hooper, past a certain point, had so many like bombs and things like, but he's made some great movies too. Don't get me wrong, after his height of his career, but this was one of those that I kind of lumped in stupidly with other things. But he explained that it was like, it was shot right after TCM. It's Robert Englund. It's this, it's that. I'm like, this sounds fucking great. And I'd seen the poster. I always liked the poster, and I watched it. Actually, I watched it with Johnny. We did a kind of a stream with it, and I loved it. So I love getting recommendations, especially from people that know you. And he's like, I know you're going to love this movie. I know for a fact you're going to love it. And he was dead right. And he also recommended, what is it called? The Beast Within. You know, again, another movie I'd never seen before that is right up my alley, my kind of thing. So, you know, I love getting recommendations. That's a big part of why I got dragged into this in the first place. The reason I participated to begin with was the recommendations. So, yeah, that recommendations leads to blind buys, and then sometimes it just doesn't work.
Yeah, there's been a couple times for me. Like I said, this is the room that I've always wanted to build. I'm 53 years old. I've always wanted a movie room. I always wanted a theater room, so to speak. And I've had 2 or 3 different times where my kids or my buddies would come in this room and they'd be going through my movies. And they would go, "What the fuck is this?" And I'd be like, "Well,
Necrophiles.
I've never seen that. Buddy of mine recommended. I ain't watched it yet. What the fuck? You know, what's this?" And there was a lot.
Why do you have this?
I won't pick somebody to come in this room and they can pick any movie off that shelf, and I can say I like it because of this. I recommend it. I love it. You probably wouldn't like it, but it's a movie that I know that I'm going to watch.
You may not like it
right now, and I'll watch it with you.
You may not like it. You may be normal. I don't know what to tell you. But, I like it. It's here. It's staying.
Like anybody that's a collector, you want this to be your collection.
Yeah.
And that's all this is. Get down to a fucking nut cutting. That's what this is. I want this to be my collection. Shit that I like, shit that I know that I'm going to want. And I still ain't 100% there yet because I'm still a full completionist on some lines. Of course, the Scream Factory stuff. I'm taking Scream Factory off this equation because I can't. I'm too far gone with them some bitches to stop right now. I got a full line of collector's editions. I can't get rid of those. What's that?
Yeah. Collector's editions and special editions from Scream Factory.
Yeah, collector's editions and the Shout Selects. That's the only thing that I'm a completionist on right now. And don't get me wrong, most of those are bangers. Most of those Scream Factory releases, the collector's editions are ones that I'm very excited about. Shout Selects kind of hit or miss. I'd say 80%. So there's another one I'm getting real close to jumping off of, and that's the MVD rewinds.
Yeah.
I just fucking got in
the car wash
all weekend. The MVD rewind. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I would never have bought that. Never would have bought that if it wasn't MVD rewind title. That's kind of how I started getting off the Paramount Presents, you know, and
fucking Imprint. Man, Imprint.
And the Imprint.
They were was like a premium label. Used to be. At least I don't know. Their scans were never the best, but they had a great presentation, the numbers on the spines, all that stuff. It was a collector's brand. And now they put out old lady grandma movies, like exclusively, it seems like. It's like, who asked for this stuff?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking like that, but maybe that's all they could get. I don't know. It's a strange world with the streaming now and the Disneys of the world that are sucking up all these licenses and not letting them out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Everybody's got their own thing. You know, it's like I always say, you got to go to hell your own way, sort of thing.
Right.
You know, there are Tonys out there that has to have everything. There's, you know, Joe's and a lot of these other guys that have to have everything. I'm not that way. And to a lesser extent, I know you're not that way. So and I know Johnny is big on right now. Johnny's going through blind buys and stuff he hasn't had time to open. He's real busy with his work and stuff. So he's trying to get caught up on everything he has before he starts buying other stuff. Yeah. And it's not even so much a room or a money thing. It's just like, man, I'm behind on all this stuff. I need to get get things back in order. I get it 100%.
And that's going to be another feed is trying to actually say I've watched everything on the shelf. There's nothing on the shelf. Well, actually, right now, everything that's on my shelf right now, about 90% anyway. This isn't including Scream Factory stuff, but most of that I have seen. But everything else on the shelf, I have either seen this release or seen the movie before. This table beside me here, which you can't really see, there's a shitload of stuff on the side here. This is all the blind buys and all the shit that I've never seen before that I pulled off the shelf. And as I watch, I'm selling or putting back on the shelf. But I would say about 90% of what's on the shelf right now is stuff that I have seen or either I have watched these particular releases. So that's kind of a feat in itself. And then you look behind me, my movies back here are usually a lot neater than this. You see how I got I got all the fucking movies up to sideways like that? Yeah. Those are titles that go up, way up on the top shelf. And I got tables and shit in the way. I can't get my ladder over there to put the movies up there. So that's why I'm stuck right there. But
I've been to the dungeon. It's like one of those old school libraries with a ladder that just you ride around on. You know, it's like a maze.
Yeah. It's driving me crazy, but I know that there's a means to an end. I can see the final product, and so that right there is not fucking up my OCD too bad right now. Yeah. But the background will look neat and nice and tidy the way it used to at some point once I get all this kind of done, organized. Might be a year. It's going to be at least a year before I'm totally done doing this. So I got a lot of fucking titles to sell. So that being said, why don't we get started with our number 10?
My first one here is Psycho 2 from Scream Factory without the slip, naturally. And my second one is Psycho 3 with the slip.
And we're going to need some explanations here. So go ahead.
I like both these, especially 2. 2's an icon to me. 3's great too. 3's really underrated.
Oh, 3's underrated as hell.
4, you can give that one back to the Indians, but I'm a big fan of these. There's new 4Ks out. These are sealed. I never even opened them, never even got to them. So if there's 4K scans of these out, to my mind, there will be 4Ks of all of them separately, at least, because I'm not buying that set. I don't need 4. If I did buy that set, I'd break it up. And I already have the same scan of 1 that comes in that set, the older release. So I'm really waiting for Arrow Standard Editions or somebody to do Psycho 2 and Psycho 3 and go from there. But the Psycho set's a nice set, but I really only need 2 and 3. And in my mind, everything is coming to 4K. That's the way I see it, because there's just so much stuff every year that comes out to 4K. These don't have standalone 4Ks, and they will get standalone 4Ks, in my opinion. So that's why they made the list, and that's why they're in the sold pile.
Pops Movie Dungeon does not support every single thing that's said on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
But I respect it.
Well, you already have the new set. That's the difference there.
And that's one of those box sets that definitely will never leave my collection.
That's a really nice box set.
Beautiful set. I think that was my number 1 of last year. Of 2023. I think that was my number 1 release. All right, my number 10 is probably going to chap a lot of people's asses, but it's going to be The Warriors. And I know this movie's beloved, and I do like this movie, but it's definitely not one that I go back and visit very often. I'm going to be honest with you. I like the movie, but I am not a super fan. I'm not going to champion this movie to a lot of people. Whatever. It's weird. You have a gang that's fucking baseball players.
Calling them gangs. They're a step up from a musical group. They're like what is that, Rent, where they're all singing, or like Grease. They're a step up from the gang members of Grease, but not that far. And they're just lucky that all the other gang members are just as big pussies as they are, so they can all have a nice little fight with each other and nobody really gets hurt.
Yeah. I watch this movie, and I know that as I watch this movie, and I have a YouTube channel, and I'm a movie lover and that kind of stuff, but I'm kind of supposed to like this. I'm supposed to think this is a classic.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the movie, but I watched it once. I think I ended up watching it twice. I watched this release twice. And after the second watch, I'm like, I put it back on the shelf, and I honestly don't see myself ever watching this again, which is why I'm getting rid of it. Yeah. It is worth a little bit of money, but that's not the reason why I'm getting rid of it. It's just, it takes up a lot of space. If I ever decide I want to get this again, there's many standard editions I can get that will be fine.
It's a hell of a nice release. This
is a great release. Imprint did a great job with this release. If you guys have never seen it before, it's got 2 discs in here. You got the theatrical cut on this one here, and you got the director's cut. If you're a fan of this movie, this is the ultimate set to get. It really is. But I'm just not that much of a fan in order to justify having this set. So I'm freeing up some space. I might buy this down the road if I decide I want to watch it again. I may not. But right now, it's leaving the collection. That's going to be my number 10 on this list. That's getting the flick out of here.
Well, the thing too with it, it's like, does it really matter? Like, you saw me get rid of Jaws the other day. I think I'll get another copy of Jaws, but what was it? What's a better example? Child's Play. I got rid of Child's Play the other day, and I saw it when I was a little kid. And when you're a little kid, an evil doll is something cool. It's running around this and that, and it's a worthy adversary to a point. To a grown, large man like myself, that doll would oppose about as much of a threat as a child to me. I don't care if it's got a knife or not. I'd kick the thing apart in a second. So that plays a part in it. Plus the story and the effects, like the mechanical effects of it, hold up very well, I feel. But when they put a dwarf in a doll costume and run him around as a grown man, like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't go together. It doesn't gel. I don't know what to tell you. It's inconsistent to me. It's got to go. So, I mean, nostalgia, I think, only carries you so far these days. And in a practical world where this stuff is worth a lot of money, I sold that set for $100 or whatever. I'd rather have that $100 on the off than keep it on the off chance that I want to watch it again in the future and I can't find it again in the future. Child's Play is a beloved franchise. I could go anywhere and pick up another set of Child's Play. I go to Walmart, pick up a set of Child's Play.
Yeah,
so
good point.
It was time for me to let it go. This next one, again, not the strength of the movie, and it's not that it's not a cool release, but there's a new set out, and I'm looking to pick that set up, and this goes for pretty good money. It's the Victor Crowley limited edition Blu-ray. There's a set with all 4 movies available on Blu-ray right now in a steelbook for less than the price that I'm going to get for this.
Oh wow, I've never seen that release before. It's pretty nice.
It's a cool. But it's got this going for it.
Oh, there's nothing on the spine.
Yeah, nothing on the spine. So
I want to
might as well throw it away, right? Yeah. If you guys probably don't know what I'm talking about, Tony, or our friend Basement Blues, he ordered a bunch of these, and he was very excited to get them in because they're cool artwork and this and that. But they all came not just this one. He ordered a bunch of different movies that all had similar art cards to this, and he got them all in, and there was nothing on the spine, and he was furious, like unglued. He was like, "What am I supposed to do with this? Put them on the shelf? It's nonsense. It doesn't work." He called the company, and they were very apologetic and offered to send them back. And I think he kept them reluctantly, but it's just like, that's a deal breaker for some people. It's not for me. I really like the artwork. I like this movie. I like all the Hatchet movies, but there's a new set out. Like I said, I can sell this and buy that whole set. So I'm going to go ahead.
That's a nice set. I had that steelbook, so that's really a nice set.
Yeah, and there's a new disc on that set that has new bonus features and stuff, which I'm really looking forward to myself. So this is a no-brainer for me. Let that one go. I've actually sold the other 3 for significantly more than I paid for them as well. So yeah, I'm going to end up getting that set for free and money. That's a big part of this thing where it's like, there's some upgrades I'm meaning to make or some downgrades. Things have been going all over the place. So just kind of adjusting the collection. But these are really, really fun movies. You haven't seen them, and maybe there is some nostalgia because I saw these at least the first 2, maybe the first 3. I don't think I saw this one in the theater, but the first 3 in the theaters in like one of those, art house theaters or whatever. They kind of play random stuff, and they had all 3 of them, when they came out, and great theater experience. But yeah, Victor Crowley, that's in the sale file.
That's a nice release, man.
That's cool. Except for the spine. You could just write it with a Sharpie on the spine, Victor Crowley.
Yeah. All right, this next one may fall under the same category as The Warriors. People might be wondering what the hell, why you get rid of that movie? It's a classic. I've seen it once, maybe twice, and I had a couple different releases of this. I've already got rid of the Scream Factory one, and now I'm getting rid of the Imprint one just because it was just okay for me. And that's Let's Scare Jessica to Death. Really nice release from Imprint. This is spine number 87. If anybody cares, you shouldn't care for Imprint at all. But anytime I get rid of an Imprint title, it's a good thing. I'm not a big fan of this company at all. But like I said, this is a nice release. That is a very questionably, well, that's not a very attractive lady on this box.
That's an unfortunate looking woman.
Yeah, she's on bless her heart. But yeah, like I said, this movie here was okay.
I'm going to translate that for anybody watching that's not familiar with the South, which oddly enough, Alan's a Southerner that doesn't live in the South. But if you say bless your heart, you might as well say she's fucking retarded or go fuck yourself. It just add anything in there. Right. Bless her heart. She's an idiot or she's hideous or the bless her heart is the punctuation on she's the worst or the dumbest or the stupidest person ever.
It's not a compliment.
It's not a compliment. And this is the thing.
By no means.
All people from the South know this. And they say it to other Southerners. Bless your heart. And they just take
they all know what it means.
I'm at a Hardee's in Southern Tennessee on the border of Alabama. And this guy in the drive-thru says to me, bless your heart. because I had a car, I had a big car at the time, and instead of renting, this is how cheap I am. Instead of renting a U-Haul, I had the seats removed at my house and just filled the fucking car up. And I made a couple trips back and forth, So it was just the driver's seat, and then and I would put the seats in as soon as I was done. So I'm at the drive-thru. I'm about to leave out of town, and he's like, "What's going on with your seats? Somebody take your seats?" I said, "No, I took the seats out, man. I'm on my way to my storage unit. And I'm gonna load everything up. I got everything in totes. It fits perfectly. I can fit a certain amount of totes in without the seats." And he's looking at the car, looking at me like I'm an idiot, and he says, "Bless your heart." I said, "Man, fuck you. You want to come out here and say that shit to me?" I said, "I know what that fucking means. Don't say bless your fucking heart to me." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I'm like, you're gonna be sorry. I come through here again, you say some shit like that again, I'm gonna drag you out that fucking window. Because I know what that fucking means." You think I'm a fucking moron? I don't give a shit.
Poor master with seats in his car. Bless his
They
heart.
just say shit like they're basically saying fuck you right to your face, and you go, "Thank you kindly." That's what you're supposed to do. I'm like, no, fuck you too, buddy. Fuck you too.
So,
anyway. I don't mean to cut you off, Alan. Bless your heart.
you did. Interesting story. So bless my heart. So let's scare Jessica to death.
Bless Imprint's heart.
Yeah, bless Imprint's heart. But this title here, like I said, it was okay. It was very old, very dated. It had a little bit of creep factor to it, not a whole lot. It's not one that I'm going to go back to very often, whatever. It just wasn't for me. Not a bad movie. It was an okay movie, but it definitely falls under probably a one-time watch for me. I don't see myself ever going back to this again. Didn't really need this release. This is going for pretty good money, by the way.
By the way, it pays no never mind to me. It's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, but like I said, if it was worth a penny, I'm still getting rid of it. Like, I don't care. Like, it was already leaving the collection. It was just a nice surprise that it goes for good money. But
it goes without saying, that we've reached out to some friends, and some of these titles that are out of print, that, like, for instance, I'm not going to mention the title, but Tony, I know he needed this title for his collection, and I reached out to him, and I know he'd been looking for it, and it's very out of print. It goes for stupid money. I let him have it for what I paid for it.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, if anybody reaches out to me and says, "Oh man, I've been looking for that copy of Let's Scare Jessica to Death forever,"
within reason. Listen, within reason. If let's say it's somebody that I don't even know. Well, you can buy it on.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a friend, a buddy, somebody that we know. But still, if they say, "Hey, I've been looking for that for a while," whatever, I'm not gonna charge you what I put on eBay for.
And listen, I'm no hero for doing that. Tony has done that for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Tony would do that for anybody, and that's not like I'm going, way out of I just happen to know he needed that specific title, and he knows that anything on my store he can get for whatever. Most of the time, I'd send it to him.
Yeah, I sent him the link to my store, and I told him, I said, "Hey man, if anything on here you want," I said, "you get buddy prices for it, just let me know." And he told me, I appreciate it. But I think right now he's trying to slow down a little bit as well, whatever. But yeah, like I said, my store, man, it's that's got over 200 titles on it, man. It's and I'm going through some of these titles I got on there now, and it's like, why did I buy this? Why did I buy that? Why did I buy this?
And who's paying for this? Who's buying this? Who's going to buy it? And they do it.
So, but yeah, it's gonna make me a smarter collector moving forward.
Yeah.
What you got for your number 9?
My number 9 is.
This is your number 8. Sorry, your number 8.
Whatever it is, we got a pile here. Boggy Creek 2, and legend continues.
Getting rid of a Bigfoot movie. Is hell freezing over?
I have a certain. I don't know what word you would use for it. I have a soft spot for Bigfoot movies. That's a good word for it. It's a personal, really not interesting story. So I won't go into it, but if I see a Bigfoot movie, generally I buy it, and this just, first of all, I did get rid of the first one, Legend of Boggy Creek, that terrible release from that woman who owns it, Pamela, whatever her name is. It's a horrible 4K. It doesn't look terrible. Okay. It looks okay as far as the 4K goes. The presentation of the package makes no sense. Alan, we've talked about it a million times.
Yeah, 4K, like
4K 3 or 4 times. It says it's in 5.1. It doesn't say anything other than 5.1.
And they did it on Microsoft Paint or something.
It looks bad.
Yeah.
And it's not a particularly good movie. But this is the sequel, unauthorized, one of the unauthorized sequels to it. It's the Vinegar Syndrome VSA.
You just answered my question. I was going to ask if it was an official sequel.
Yeah, and it is what it is. This movie's not very good, and it goes for decent money. So, you know, these VSA collectors are crazy. So if they're missing one, they got to have it. So this has gone up, and it's got 1 million views and watchers. So it's going to sell pretty quickly. But I'm happy to get it out of the collection. Moving on to somebody else.
Nice. All right, my number 8 is one that I thought I was gonna like. I am glad that I got it because it was a good one-time watch documentary. But it's not exactly what I thought it was gonna be. It was I'll just explain it once I show it here. That's gonna be the first VCR.
Oh, it's a cool release.
Yeah, really cool looking release. Of course, you got the cassette on the other side. But yeah, I thought it was going to be kind of like the boom of the 80s, the video stores, home video, whatever. Well, let's just say it went back a little bit further than that. It went back to the good old days and before I was born. Don't get me wrong, it was interesting.
Yeah.
But I kept kind of feeling in my head that I was going to hear the old, this is probably not going to make any sense to most of you young people out there. But back in the day in school, when it was time to watch like an educational movie, they would bring a library card in with a big reel-to-reel movie projector, and you hear that. I kept feel like I was hearing that in the back of my movie room as I was watching this. It felt like an educational video you'd watch in the class somewhere, like some high school class. And it was definitely a one-time watch. I caught myself about halfway through it, looking at my phone more and more. If you're really into this kind of history or whatever, you're going to dig this because it goes deep into it. But it kind of ends right about the time where I thought this was going to be. It goes up just before we started getting home video stuff, whatever, and that's kind of where the history stops. So it really wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was interesting for a one-time watch. Really cool looking slip, by the way. I will say that. Yeah. But it's just something I don't really need. So I'm definitely I'm going to get rid of it. I don't know if it goes for good money or not. To be honest with you, I really haven't even priced it yet. But yeah, this is going. That's my number 8. I like a good documentary, but I don't know. I don't want to collect a lot of documentaries. I'd rather kind of watch them on streaming because once I watch a documentary once, I very rarely go back to it unless it's a banger. That's just me. I know you like documentaries probably a little more than I do.
Yeah, but I'm not looking for a lecture either. It's got to have something a little bit more than a scientific explanation of how a fucking VCR works and how it came to be. I don't care about that. I care about the cult, what you were talking about, like the culture, the video stores, because we all did that, even though the 80s, it was like kind of like the dawn of it and all that stuff. By the 90s, it was like every small town had a mom and pop VCR store or two. Or maybe you could rent a movie for $1.75. And that's where a lot of, a lot of people who grew up poor, that was their weekends because it's like you got no money to do anything.
I remember the days you would go into the mom and pop stores, and I think even in the big box stores, whatever, that you could go in there and you could actually rent movies, but you could rent a VCR. Yeah. Back in the day before everybody had a VCR, you would go rent a VCR for, I don't know what it was. I never did it because we had one, but you go rent a VCR for $15 and 5 movies. They had like a package deal. And I remember that went on for a while before it was more mainstream.
VCR used to be really expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I wish that would have been about 15 minutes of what this was, and then kind of went into what I thought it was, but unfortunately it didn't.
Well, this next one was at number 7. Yeah. It's a double lot of 2 really good movies, Nightcrawler and Prisoners.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Jake Gyllenhaal, a little double feature here. Even though this one is really, it's Jake Gyllenhaal's movie, but it's really Hugh Jackman's movie. But they're both really, really good. And I'm on that. Everything gets a 4K train. And I'm going to try to get ahead of it here. I'm going to try to get ahead of the 4K announcements for both these movies. These are both movies I'd pick up in 4K. Just like what I mentioned before with the Psycho 2 and 3. And it's not the strength of these movies. I think these are both great movies. Prisoners especially is excellent with Denis Villeneuve. But this is about a nighttime, paparazzi journalist type recording creep played by Jake Gyllenhaal. It's his best acting performance by far, and he basically records all the nasty stuff for the news the next day. And this one is about two daughters that go missing, and Hugh Jackman is with the father of one of the daughters, and Jake Gyllenhaal is the detective, and they have to try and run them down. Very much in that Seven. I mean, it's not near as good as Seven, but you get my point. That kind of thing. But these are great movies. But it's just one of those things where I've wadded them up in a double lot and sell them off before the 4Ks get announced. Hopefully, and listen, maybe they never come to 4K. Maybe I get burned. But these movies are of such quality. I highly doubt that they don't get 4Ks.
Yeah.
They may be tied up with rights or whatever. I'm seeing Universal and I'm seeing Warner Brothers. Both of them have.
I'm surprised they already have 4Ks, to be honest with you, because those are both banger movies. They're very popular movies. But you're right. The rights thing, I never know what's
Well, if this was Fox, Fox has got this thing where they're owned by Disney now. This is Warner Brothers and Universal. They both do physical media. If it was Paramount, they both have physical 4Ks by now. So it's just a matter of time with these. And like I said, I want to get ahead. When the 4Ks come out, these will be worth $4 a piece. I mean, it'll just be that's the way it is. Now they're worth about $10 a piece. So in a lot, it's like 20. So I'm fine with this, moving them on. But they're great movies. If you haven't seen them, I highly recommend both.
Yeah. All right, my next one I think is going to be very little explanation of why I'm getting rid of this, but why the fuck do I have this? Roman Holiday. My grandma wonders why I have this. Yeah. Don't adjust your set. I got Roman Holiday in my fucking movie collection. Yeah. I know this is a classic. Gregory Peck, Audrey Hepburn, but Gregory Peck and Audrey Hepburn ain't really they're not me. They're not my generation by a long shot. And on Golden Pond, that's the kind of a guilty pleasure movie. I mean, it's kind of a chick flick, whatever. But I seen on Golden Pond at a young age, and me and my wife watched a couple years ago. On Golden Pond's a banger. Of course, she's 147 in that movie. But man, this movie here, the only reason why I got it is look at that logo right there. Paramount Presents.
Paramount Presents, I see.
And this is Spy number 9. So this is early in the collection. I think they've even put out a 4K of this now, I want to say. And that's kind of when I kind of jumped off the train. I had it one time, and I said, now they got a 4K coming out. Do I really want to get a 4K of the movie that I'm never going to watch? And do I want to upgrade a movie I'm never going to fucking watch? And this is kind of was the straw that broke the camel's back, whatever, in this line here. Not that, and plus, they started putting out a lot of movies that I already had other releases of. And I was like, I don't really want to double dip on movies that I already have that are good releases. So I kind of jumped off the Paramount Presents train. And yeah, this is another one of the lines that I'm not a completionist on anymore. So yeah, the Roman Holiday. I mean, anybody out there that's 80, I don't mean to offend you or anything, but it's definitely not my movie. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass. I've never seen the movie.
Yeah.
It might be something that I enjoy. I'm sure my wife was probably, why are you getting rid of that?
Well, it's incredible. Yeah.
The way I justified this when I got it is I watch it with my wife.
Yeah.
Well, if my wife is going to watch this, she's going to watch it on streaming. That's what she does.
Yeah.
But it's just something I don't need. I definitely don't need to upgrade it to 4K. So Roman Holiday, big surprise, it's out of here. So it's just shit like this right here is why I'm doing this. This is like, what the fuck did I buy this for? I don't want my oldest son to walk in here and go, hey, let's watch a movie, Dad. The fuck is this? And it's just, I
don't have to come out of retirement and beat my kid's ass.
Right.
at 35 years old.
Yeah. So sorry, Gregory Peck.
Yeah. This is one, man, that I thought I would love. I had never seen it before. I love all the other movies this director makes, but it's Frank Henenlotter's Bad Biology. This movie is just not for me. Let's put it that way. There are people that we know that love this. Johnny loves it. No, thank you. It's listen, I have a line, and this is too far. It's disgusting. I hate it. I'll never watch this again. There's a 4K out of this now, by the way. So I'm not even going to turn this around. Show the back of this thing. It is, trashy, sleazy. Frank Henenlotter made it for himself, basically. He likes it. He's a big pervert, but I like his other movies, Basket Case, Frankenhooker, Brain Damage is excellent. This I don't like, and it is not staying just for that reason. I'm not even going to go in the synopsis. To me, it is a 1 out of 10 at best. I didn't laugh at any of it. It is. I've watched it once before. Rewatched it when that 4K was announced. When the 4K came on sale, I watched it again just to make sure, that my feelings hadn't changed. I hated it worse the second time. It felt like very low class to me, and really, really stupid and poorly made. So again, that's my opinion. Some people don't agree with that, but yeah, it's going. I can't wait for it to get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm not a germaphobe. I wish I had some rubbing alcohol or something to wash off my hands just from holding that.
Yeah, that's one that I have. I can't remember if you sent me a copy of that or you just recommended it, but I have it, but I still haven't watched it yet.
We were going to do either a watch along or a WTF for it, and I had a couple copies. I can't remember how it worked out, and I sent them around, and it's just, I'm not going to explain that movie. I'm not going to do a stream on that movie and talk about all the intricacies of that stupid movie.
Speaking of, I feel like we're overdue for another WTF, by the way.
Yeah, I got some ideas.
Those are a lot of fun to do. I know you do all the work on that. I just sit there and listen to you talk, but it's still fun to do.
Yeah, they're fun to do. It's just a matter of doing one where everybody's going to be interested in it. That's the big thing. And it's like, we did Long Legs. Remember we did Long Legs?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had things to say about it. Everybody was excited to talk about that movie. It was such an interesting movie, and there were so many questions. I'm kind of waiting for that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be a new movie either, but we'll figure something out. There'll be another WTF, I'm sure.
Yeah, stay tuned. All right, this next one here, I really wanted to like, but I knew I probably wasn't going to like it because of who's in it. Yeah, I probably should just throw this one in the trash because I don't really want to expose this bitch to anybody else, whatever. But yeah, Death Game.
But it wouldn't have anything to do with that lead female.
Sandra Locke. Yeah, the only thing going for her is that she fucked Clint Eastwood. That's about all she has going for her. I don't like her at all. I've made that known on my channel many, many times. and this is pretty much. This is the original. If you ever seen the movie Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves, this I'm not gonna say it's a shot for shot, but it's pretty close to just a complete remake of this movie here, done better, I think. Yeah. This movie, I know a lot of people really like champion this movie, and I can see why. I think if Sandra Locke wasn't in it, I probably would like it a little more because the movie was done fairly well. It's an older movie. It came out in this is the 70s. So when did it come out? 1977. I think that's right. My blind ass. I think it's 1977. Mm-hmm. And but if I'm going to watch this, I'll just throw in Knock Knock. I like Knock Knock a lot better. I thought it was done very well. This one here is dated. The girls are kind of silly. They say something and giggle and laugh, and just hearing Sandra Locke giggle and laugh for fucking an hour and a half or whatever it is, it's something I will never experience again. Now, one thing that kind of sucks about this one here is it came damaged when I got it. It's got a little tear on the fucking box there. So, but other than that, this is a really nice release. Who put this out?
Grindhouse release.
Grindhouse, yeah. So, like I said, it's a movie that a lot of people enjoy, and I went into it with open mind trying to like it, even though I knew the cast. But I couldn't get past it, man. Like I said, it was just too much. The girls giggling, being a little too silly, and I know it's the same way in Knock Knock to a certain extent, whatever. But I thought Knock Knock was just done a lot better. But
I like Knock Knock.
So yeah, Death Game's getting out of here. I'm never going to watch it again. It just needs to leave the shelf. So it is being sold.
But it's one of my top 3 Argento movies. It's Trauma from Vinegar Syndrome. I have 2 of them. I accidentally bought a second one during a Vinegar Syndrome sale. You know how that goes. They're $10 titles. You're throwing stuff in your cart. And for some reason, I forgot that I had this. Really interesting Tom Savini effects. I think it's one of his better movies. Shot in America. I believe it's his only movie shot in America. Shot in Minnesota. But it's about a serial killer that's decapitating people with a mechanical wire device. It's interesting. It's bizarre. Don't get me wrong. It's not technically great or anything, but I like the story. It's really weird and really strangely acted, but yeah. So got a double limit. Hopefully it's way out of print. Hopefully it goes for good money. I doubt it, but Trauma. That's my next one here. If you haven't seen it, man, give this one. You're an Argento guy. Give this one a shot.
And I don't remember if I showed this on episode 1 or 2. But even if I did, it's worth showing it twice because nobody's ever going to buy this. It may never leave this room. I just throw it in the trash. And, that is Nightmare on Elmo Street.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, this was a free shipping title is what this was from Orbit. And I just seen it. And there are some of these movies that I do enjoy. This was not one of them.
Oh, yeah. So bad it's good.
This was made by, what's that fucking weirdo that makes these fucking movies? Help me out here, Brad.
Help me out here, Brad. Like, I fucking know.
What's his fucking name? Goddamn, it's like Johnny Slaughter or something. something fuck. I don't fucking remember.
Johnny Slaughter. Okay.
He's got 100 of these fucking movies.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody was watching this will fucking answer me in the chat, whatever. But yeah, Nightmare on Elmo Street. I thought this would be a good time. Sometimes these movies are fun. They're obviously trash. They're garbage. But sometimes they have an aspect to them. Just for example, Suburban Sasquatch is a putridly bad fucking movie, but it's so fucking funny in so many shots, you know. And just like the guy shoots a fucking shotgun that sounds like a laser gun. Just shit like that is funny. But this here was just bad through and through. You pretty much have it opens up with a fucking lady getting fucking raped by a stuffed animal. Then it goes to some bad dialogue. Another lady gets raped by a stuffed animal. Bad dialogue. And that's pretty much what it is. So it's a softcore porn with fucking Muppets. So yeah, it's definitely. Why did I buy this? I'm ashamed of myself. This is my first. I'm asking for help, y'all. I'm ashamed. But it is leaving this room. If anybody buys this movie, yeah. I feel like this is going to be kind of like in Seven, when they went around, you know, looking at people's library, whatever. As soon as this movie got bought, I'm sure I got put on a list somewhere with the FBI going, we've got to keep an eye on this weird motherfucker.
We need to keep an eye on them just in case there's bodies start to appear.
So,
again.
anyway.
It's some kind of like rape revenge thing with Sybil Danning, which apparently was like kind of a scream queen or whatever. I don't know anything about it other than that. I watched the trailer. I was like, I don't even need to open this. I'll just sell it on, and I'm not going to waste my one movie a day I might be able to watch on something like this. So somebody in the chat might be going, man, that's a great one. You'd love it. I'll never know. I'm at the point where I've seen this cover. I've seen the trailer. I'm going to pass on this one altogether. So
I'm not going to up my standing in the community very much after this next title. If you thought Nightmare on Elmo Street was bad, yeah.
What the hell?
Porno Holocaust. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you keep that?
I did watch this, start to finish, watch the whole thing. This is a porno. That's all this is. It's got porno in the name. This is a porno zombie.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah, it's it is. I would say softcore porn. It leans into hardcore porn a little bit. Is what this is. You know, there's a horror aspect to it. I don't remember that much about it because I was pretty scarred when I watched it. But yeah, it's a lot more hardcore than I thought it was going to be. You know, I thought it was going to be, you know, I kind of knew what the premise was, but I thought it was going to be more of a horror movie, 80% horror, 20% fucking. But it was 80% fucking, 20% horror.
Yeah,
probably about 90% fucking. But yeah, this is a very cheap release. I want to say that and even though I don't go to Grindhouse releasing very much, or Grindhouse Video, whatever it is, he was having a sale where these movies were like $4 a piece. This has been about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and he had 100 of these fucking titles, but they were like $4 or $5 a piece. And I went in there and grabbed 5 or 6 of them, and this was one of them that I bought. And I don't know why. It's something about it. Just I don't want to say it appealed to me. That makes me feel bad about myself. But yeah, Porno Holocaust. It was a one-time watch. I'll never watch this shit again. Thank God my wife didn't walk it when I was watching it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hardcore. If you're Tony, please don't get this. Not that he ever was.
I think the title will draw him away from it for sure.
Yeah, but it is gone.
The Sofia Coppola Blu-ray lot. Lost in Translation and Somewhere. Now, if you haven't seen Somewhere, it's basically similar to Lost in Translation. It's kind of a Tom Cruise like actor that's kind of lost he's burnt out and he's just kind of, just treading water. This one, Lost in Translation, is a very good Bill Murray movie. It's only good because of Bill Murray, let's put it that way. But there was a 4K announced and then unannounced shortly after that.
Kino was going to put one out. No.
Kino was going to put it out. Where there's smoke, there's fire. There will be a 4K of this. And when that happens, I will be buying it. So that's, again, I'm getting ahead of it. And as a sweetener, I'm kind of throwing this one in. Sophia Coppola, both movies, similar type of movies. If you haven't seen this, it's like Lost in Translation, but in Los Angeles with a younger crowd kind of thing. He's kind of lost his way and he's kind of just trying to get back to, feeling good. It's kind of like a woe is me type thing, but it's similar to this, but this is the much better movie. This one, I guess I could recommend this one too, but only if you're a monster fan of this, you want more of that same kind of story. But yeah, so I'm just kind of, again, getting ahead of 4K, and I know this is going to come to a 4K, and like I said, and when it does, this Blu-ray will be worthless. So I'm just gonna move this on and wait for the 4K.
I'm going to keep my train of shitty movies going here. This one here is a double feature of shitty movies. So if one is not good enough, you got two on this release. And this is going to be Cannibal Hookers and Hooker with a Chainsaw.
Oh, yeah.
And this also fell in the same line as, some of these movies are a lot of fun. This one was much better than Elmo Street. But I say that very, very loosely. It wasn't good at all. But, like I said, this had a little more, going for it, kind of what I wanted a little bit out of a movie like this. But it's not something I'm going to go back to. I watched it once. It was okay. Yeah. It was just that. It was just wasn't great. It wasn't nothing special. I remember there being a couple kind of cool kills in it. Nothing like, it's all just shot on video shit. But yeah, it's definitely a weird one, and it's one that I watched one time and I pulled it off the shelf and go, it was okay, but am I ever going to watch it again? And as soon as I asked myself that question, I threw it in the fucking cell pile. So yeah, if you've seen these movies, if you like them, you can let us know down below in the chat, whatever. But it's not something that it's just not for me. And I don't want to sound like a fucking snob because I do love shit like this, but it's got to be good shit. This ain't really. I don't consider this really good shit. This is just okay shit.
I was excited to get this release, and it's just stayed sealed for too long. That's how I feel about it. If I had really wanted to see it again, I would have watched it by now. And it's the Ring Blu-ray 20th anniversary limited edition.
Oh damn!
It's a real cool set. Really good looking slip on this steelbook, and there is a 4K out now. So if this doesn't sell, it's not gonna be the end of the world for me. It's up for sale, and it's in really good condition. And if it doesn't sell, it's just going to go back in the tote. This will be the title I have. Eventually, I can see upgrading this to 4K. I haven't seen it forever. This is like the Citizen Kane of PG-13 horror to me. I think this is the best as it's ever been for PG-13. Again, just haven't watched it in so long. It stayed sealed so long. And if I can go without it, believe me, I'm happy to go without it. Especially being a steelbook. I'm really kind of trying to get out of steelbooks altogether. Not because they're not cool and whatever, but it's just like they seem to be a ticking time bomb as far as damage goes. I mean, you look at them wrong, they get damaged. So I'm just trying to kind of move on from that, and I could see picking this up on 4K, studio 4K, dirt cheap down the road, no slip, Black Friday type thing. But like I said, it's a cool release. Love the movie. Everybody knows the story of The Ring. Everybody and their brother has seen it. You watch the video. 7 days later, you die for reasons, that you find out throughout the movie. But great movie, and well, at least it was. I haven't seen it in so long. I really feel like I couldn't even. But it's one of those movies. I really like the opening with the girl, dying and everything right away. That hadn't been done in a while, at least probably since Scream. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's time for it to move on, and hopefully I can upgrade to 4K.
Have you seen the original? What's it called? Ringo?
Ringo. I think I did shortly after that. I'd never really cared for it. I like the remake much better.
Yeah, I've seen Ringo once, but I do like that one better. All right. Yeah.
Oh, I remember this.
God. This was an Arrow sale we did, and I'm throwing titles in the cart, going back and forth, and I don't know what drew me to this one here. This is the Arrow Academy, which
Arrow Academy.
But yeah, this was a weird one. This lady is basically got a fucking tail, like an animal tail. I don't know if there's a picture here that I can show you to give you an idea of just how fucking weird this is. Yeah, there you go. There's a picture. You see at the bottom there, that's not a turd hanging out of her butt. That's a tail.
Jeez.
Yeah. It is a weird ass movie, and it's her just living her life with a tail, and she's trying to hide it from people, and she ends up, kind of finds a guy that kind of accepts it, And then they have a lot of weird sex scenes with her and her fucking tail, and it is hard to fucking watch. Let me tell you, it is disturbing. So I don't know why the fuck I bought this. This was having an arrow sale or throwing shit in the cart. I ended up on this. I don't know why. I thought it would be interesting, and it was not what I thought it was going to be. But yeah, there's some disturbing shit in this. So if you're into some weird body horror shit that's not really that good, there is some body horror to this that's going to be for the fucking weirdos out there that really like shit like that. And yeah, it's not a good movie. Very slow, very weird, and the sex scene's hard to watch.
This is another lot. Again, at least the first two, it's not on the strength of the movies. The third one is pretty not good in my opinion, but it's the Slumlord trilogy. 13 cameras, 14 cameras, and 15 cameras. Now, I like these movies. I don't know if everybody likes these movies, but they're very, very out of print. It's almost a name your price for about any of these. This one in particular is way out of print. And goes for really good money. And so it's just kind of those things where I don't think these may, or I'm gambling on this. These may get a trilogy set or something down the line. They may not. I could see Vinegar Syndrome doing them. So I'm gambling that this one I don't give a shit about.
Yeah, I remember you said you were real disappointed. The guy's out or something. That's another actor.
Yeah, I think the lead actor passed away before they could film the 15 cameras. So they replaced them. It just doesn't work, in my opinion. But if he was still alive, it would work. So yeah, I'm just kind of moving these on. I really enjoy these, especially the first two I really enjoy. They're bizarre, strange kind of movies, but this character is a one of one. It does really weird stuff, and like I said, I hope we get some kind of Vinegar Syndrome or Severin or something trilogy pack, and I can pick these back up later. But for the money they're going for, they're gone.
Well, here, Johnny, I just want you to know that remember we're buddies. This might be where Johnny unsubscribes and blocks my number. Well, I know he's a big fan of this movie here, but yeah, House.
Yeah,
and I know that there's a huge fucking following for this.
People
film.
love that.
They love it. And I know that whenever I was first getting into buying some Criterions, this was one that everybody would show. If you watch a video on, top 10 Criterions, recommendations on anybody's channel, this always popped up. And so I was real excited to get it. And it wasn't I disliked the movie. It's just, I feel like it's the movie that's really made for me. I can't really explain what it is. I do understand why so many people do like the movie. And I'm not going to say that I hate it. I don't. But it's just not one that I see myself going back to very often. And every time I took it off the shelf, I was going to rewatch it again. I would go, nah, maybe later, and put it back on the shelf. I did that at least 5 or 6 times. And so if I ever want to buy it again, I'm sure Criterions really don't go out of print too much, whatever. I don't think I ever will buy this again. I don't think I ever watch it again.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not good. To me, it's not something that I'm going to go back and watch. I'm not going to say it's not a good movie because it is. It's just not made for me. And if I'm gonna watch a House movie, there's another House movie out there that I like a lot better than this one. That movie's made for me. Very, made for the blue collar folk. This is made for the people that kind of drink with their pinky sticking straight out.
Yeah.
But yeah, House is getting out of here, Johnny. I love you. Sorry, buddy, but it's out. And I feel pretty confident that I'm not making a mistake on any of these. The only mistake I made on some of these was just buying them. But I'm glad that I'm actually doing something to rectify that mistake.
It's time for him to move on. And listen, it is what it is. I wouldn't care if my favorite movies were on that, in that pile. This is your collection, it's your money.
Yep.
And listen, if Henry 4K was on there, I'd go, oh, listen, I get it. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. And I'd block your fucking number and everything.
In case you wonder what that was my dump bin. I'm throwing these movies back in. This is episode 3. We're going to have more coming. We both got a shitload of titles we're getting rid of. So there'll be episode 4, episode 5, episode 6. Who knows how many. I got enough movies. We could keep this going for quite a while. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back again with another episode, some more live streams. Who knows what we're going to do next. Whatever idea we come up with next. But thank you all for watching. Hopefully this thing takes off. And, if you guys like this format, let us know. If you don't, let us know. Either way,
at least I rarely ask for feedback. Let's know in the chat. What do you think? You like the format? Do you like the way this went? whatever. Would you get rid of these titles? Were we making horrible mistakes here? Or is this because some of these might be locked up in studio hell, in rights hell? So maybe we are making mistakes. We don't know. So let us know what's going on.
We're gonna get on out of here, guys. Thank y'all for being here, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Later.